Hey, this is H1, and I'm going to be teaching you how to correctly use a pen in chess. And we're going to be going over a game, the white pieces, David Brosting, and the black pieces, his name is NN. I don't know exactly if that's his real name or not, but who cares? It doesn't really matter, just the principles in the game. This game was back in 1950, and yes, the result was David won, but all that matters is me teach you how to use a pen in chess, and let's get through it right quick. First of all, this is how the game started. E4, E5, D4, E takes D4, and then queen takes D4. And then black had the gall playing knight C6, attacking the queen at D4. Now, what do you think David Brosting was thinking? Oh, snap, my queen is being attacked. I gotta get out of the threat. And that's how we should be thinking when we're like playing these games. Like, okay, if my opponent does something, what is going to be my replies? What is going to be my responses? Can I block, avoid it, or capture the piece that's attacking? Well, we can't capture the piece right here because it's a knight and knight jumps. And so David decided to do queen A4. After queen A4, knight F6 was played. After knight F6, we got the move. Let me check my computer. Yep. Knight C3, protecting the pawn. And so black decided to develop the two knights, and then white decided to get their queen developed on the A4 square and get their knight at C3. Now, disclaimer, since this was back in the 1900s, most of these openings aren't played anymore, since they didn't have a chess engine to even check back then if these were basically good openings. So just remember, just remember that. That's really important. You don't want to go online playing it and then you realize, oh snap, this opening isn't playable anymore. Now, in this position, black started getting a little bit anxious, started being like, well, since this is back in the 1950s and attacking the center was really important and playing aggressively was the utmost important. Nobody had chess engines to know how to defend positions correctly. So black decided to be like, you know what? D5 might be a really good idea. But he clearly found out like later on that this was an inaccuracy. Actually, not that he found out, but since we have chess engines now, I can tell you straight off the engine, hey, this is an inaccuracy. After this was played, we got the move Bishop G5, continuing on developing the pieces, pinning the knight to the queen, and then black decided to capture this pawn on E4, which, you know, is kind of starting to get a little bit airy since his king is still in the center. Like, what are you doing? And after D takes E4, we got the move knight takes E4. Attacking the pin piece on the F6 square. What do we do here? What does black do here? Are we just going to keep on developing by doing bishop E7 or bishop D or bishop E6, bishop D6 or bishop D7? Are we going to do those moves? Because all that black developed right now was these two knights, and they're kind of being attacked. But the only thing that's kind of saving black's position is white's king being in the center. But they're only one move away from castling. What's going to happen here? After queen E7, which was played by black, another inaccuracy. What was the move? Bishop G4 was a better move to stop the castling. But after queen E7, we got Queenside Castling. And remember, this queen over here is protecting this knight. This knight can't take this knight on E4 because this bishop will take the queen. So black's pieces aren't organized. They're not having some flow state of where they can attack their opponent's king or even be ready for the middle game battle. After Queenside Castling, we got the worst move of the position. Queen takes E4. After queen takes E4, you might be wondering, isn't that just a free piece? Because if white just captures this queen on E4, then knight captures and black gets a free piece. Wouldn't that be lovely for NN? That's his name, was NN. Look it up. But anyway, wouldn't that be lovely? Right? So what is the best move? If you want to figure out the best move, I would suggest you to pause it right now. The best move of this position is Rook D8. Wow, spectacular. And you could just kind of feel the momentum that white is having right now, because we had a pin on this f6 square because this queen used to be on e7 or d8. And we got this pin going on here with this queen on a4 to the king. This knight cannot move to capture this rook because of this pin on the a4 to e8 diagonal. So what are we going to do right now? What is the plan here? It just seems like black's whole position is trash. And basically, based off of the chess engine, let me just go to it right quick, it's already plus 5 points for white. Why is it plus 5 points for white? If black captures this rook on the d8 square, we get a free queen. How do we get a free queen? Because if we capture this queen on e4, this knight cannot capture back. If this knight captures back, this bishop is checking the king. And so what do we call that? That is an illegal move. This sacrifice is really important. And here's another thing too. Even if the king doesn't capture the rook on d8 and goes up thinking that, oh, I got away with this. This king up here thinking that he's Drake or somebody. Like, you're not Drake. Like, you're not a certified lover boy. This bishop is still pinning this knight. And so I still get a free queen. Man, let me throw the queen I still get a free queen. So this was a quick game that you can learn how to use pins on. And it's really important to notice these sacrifices like the rook d8 sacrifice, especially when there's tactics going around. And we didn't even have to use these pieces because we had a lot of development, enough to finish the game off. But just look out for these, especially in the first 10 moves, and you might be able to get a winning position right off the start.